CNBC-TV18 exclusive. Meta's global head of safety, Antigone Davis, is betting on artificial intelligence to combat fake news and bullying. Speaking to me earlier today, Davis said India is being used as the first market to test several safety tools for Meta. She's also called for global rules to curb misinformation, also promising more specific tools for content creators in India and making India the first market to roll out some of those features. Here's a slice of that conversation.
Safety-wise, we have a big campaign called Report, Don't Share. It's in relation to child sexual exploitation material. We launched that first in India. We worked with Indian organizations to develop the content to make sure that it had the right context and brought it to India first.
Was there a reason why you brought it to India first?
I think we have a large number of users in India. There are a large number of young users in India, and we wanted to be sure that we were meeting the needs of the country. There are other things that we've done that have been India first on the safety front as well. For example, in terms of women's safety, we have something that's where you can lock your profile, because we heard that there were issues around photo safety for women in India, and so we developed a specific tool and launched it here in India.
You know, speaking of how the experience and the learnings from India have helped you customize some of these solutions, let's talk about WhatsApp, because that's ubiquitous here in India and also has become a large part of the problem, especially when we talk about the dissemination of fake news, misinformation, and so on and so forth. And many measures or steps have been taken by Meta to try and curb that. But, you know, do you believe that you need to do more? And what is the learning now after what you've done?
Well, what I would say about safety generally is that we always feel like we want to do more. In other words, the way in which people are using technology is constantly evolving, and the way in which we're deploying safety is constantly evolving. And I don't think this is an area where you would ever see us sort of stop and say, that's it, we're done, we're finished. It's always changing. It's an adversarial space, and so we're committed to always improving. You talked about misinformation, for example, with WhatsApp. One of the things that we did was to set forwarding limits on content to ensure that we could slow down that any kind of spread of misinformation.
You know, one, of course, is the issue of regulators or governments telling you to take something down. And there have been takedown requests and we've seen that number go up considerably. But preemptive action, you know, give me an anecdote of how Meta is responding to this preemptively, responding to what you may see as misinformation, fake news, bullying, you know, online harassment, for instance.
Well, this goes back actually to when you were talking about AI. So we have policies. You're not allowed to violate our policies. They're open and stated on our platform, and they cover exactly the content that you're talking about: bullying content, hate speech, misinformation, and other types of content. And we then use AI that can identify that content before and move it before people report it to us.
You can catch that conversation with Meta's global head of safety, Antigone Davis, at 5:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. right here on CNBC-TV18.